Would they be way stronger than the current Hashiras? And most importantly, how would they become Hashiras and change the entire storyline? Well, after researching for weeks, I came up with 3 exciting theories that would blow your mind. And for the first theory, Kagaya Ubuyashiki becomes the main character, but not in the way that you think. You see, in the original story, Rengoku joins the Donut Club, leaving the Hashiras with 1 empty spot. Episodes later, Tengen also retires, leaving the Hashiras with another free spot. In this alternate timeline, these free spots will be filled up, because after the fight with Gyutaro and Daki, Kagaya would be impressed with the immense potential that both Tanjiro and his friends possess and would give them a chance to prove themselves by making them Hashiras. While the training they would receive as Hashiras would make them slightly stronger than they were in the original timeline, their power levels would be nowhere close to Hashira level. Fast forward to the Swordsmith Village arc, things would be really interesting. Because unlike in the original timeline, where Zenitsu and Inosuke were misplaced, they would be present in this timeline as they are now Hashiras. Their battle against the Upper Moon 4 demons Hantengu would go pretty smoothly. With Zenitsu's lightning speed and Inosuke's extraordinary senses, Hantengu clones would get completely outclassed before Genya even arrives. Immediately after this, Hantengu would transform into his strongest form. At this point, things would get really problematic. But the trio would be strong enough to hold Hantengu off till help arrives. Moments later, both Genya and Mitsuri would arrive just in time to help, and after a long battle, both Hantengu and his real body would get beheaded almost immediately. From this point onward, the story would follow the same path as the original timeline, with the Demon Slayers finally putting an end to Muzan. Now, remember, this is only one of 3 theories we'll be covering in this video, and for the second theory, things would get dark really quickly, because in this theory, Tanjiro would die. I know it sounds confusing, but let me explain. You see, in the original timeline, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke never became Hashiras because Muzan was defeated. However, what if Muzan did manage to escape just before they killed him? Well, the story would take a drastic turn. For starters, the Demon Slayer Corps would be greatly weakened due to losing their leader and the majority of the Hashiras. With Sanemi and Giyu being the only surviving Hashiras, they would have no choice but to train Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke alongside with Kanao, turning them into the new Hashiras. While this would be a good thing, sadly, both Giyu and Sanemi would die once they reached the ages of 25 due to the effect of the Demon Slayer mark. But their deaths would only make Tanjiro and his crew grow even stronger. Once the news reaches Muzan that Tanjiro has become the Sun Hashira, he would definitely go into hiding just like the original story, where he hid for 100 years from the legendary Yorichi. While this might seem like good news, as our new Hashiras can finally live peaceful lives, it only gets worse once Tanjiro turns 25, cause he would die due to the effect of the Demon Slayer mark. With Tanjiro out of the picture, the Demon Slayer Corp doesn't really stand a chance against Muzan. Years later, Muzan would go ahead to get rid of the remaining Hashiras and take over the world, turning everyone into demons and creating a demon empire. And with no one to get in his way, it is safe to assume that after years of searching, he would finally find the blue spider lily, which he would use to create a cure that would allow him to walk under the sun, making him truly invincible. Man, that is one dark ending. Gladly, the third theory is way better and is arguably even better than the original story. Because in this theory, Tanjiro unlocks his Demon Slayer mark from episode 1, just like Yorichi. And unlike the original story, things could either go good or bad for the entire world. Okay, so if Tanjiro activated his Demon Slayer mark from the beginning, he would definitely have unlimited access to the transparent world ability and selfless state. The story would start off just like in the original story, with Giyu taking the Kamado siblings to Urokodaki. With the help of the Demon Slayer mark, Tanjiro would be able to master water breathing really quickly. The fight against the Hand Demon in the final selection exam would go really well. Fast forward to the Mount Natagomo arc. Both Tanjiro and Inosuke would easily kill the Spider Demon father and move ahead to fight Urui, the Lower Moon 5 demon. The battle would go as smooth as ever, with Tanjiro completely outmatching Urui. But because Tanjiro is way stronger than Urui, he wouldn't unlock his sun breathing just yet, as he wasn't pushed to his limit. Moving on to the Mugen Train arc, things would get crazy real quickly. For starters, Tanjiro easily beheads Imu, just like in the original story. Moments later, Akaza arrives. The battle against Akaza and Rengoku would be really intense. As the battle would continue, something crazy happens. Rengoku unlocks his own Demon Slayer mark. Crazy! I know, you must be wondering how. You see, there are two major requirements to unlocking the Demon Slayer. 1. You must have come in contact with a Sun Breath user who has awakened the mark, and 2. You must survive life-threatening conditions having a heart rate of over 200 beats per minute and a body temperature of over 39 degrees Celsius. In the original story, Rengoku managed to achieve the second requirement. However, in this version, thanks to Tanjiro, he would achieve both. With the help of the Demon Slayer mark, both Rengoku and Tanjiro would push Akaza to his absolute limit, and just before the battle ends, Tanjiro will get flashbacks of his father teaching him the Hinokami Kagura, hence unlocking his sun breathing. He would then proceed to cut off Akaza's head, and unlike the original story, Rengoku would be alive in this timeline, and would be way stronger thanks to his Demon Slayer mark. At the Demon Slayer headquarters, Kagaya acknowledges Tanjiro's strength and makes him the Sun Hashira. Fast forward to the Entertainment District arc, Tanjiro would easily behead Daki. This of course would make Gyutaro appear. The battle would be very challenging, partially because Tanjiro hasn't fully mastered sun breathing, and mostly because of Gyutaro's insane blood demon arts. But with the help of Zenitsu and Inosuke, the battle would last till the point where Tengen arrives to battle Gyutaro, and as they battle, Tengen would awaken his Demon Slayer mark for the same reason Rengoku awakened his. The battle would go very smoothly, with Tengen and the trio successfully beheading both Gyutaro and Daki simultaneously. This means that Tengen wouldn't be brutally injured and wouldn't have to retire from the Demon Slayer Corp. Thanks to this, the Demon Slayer Corp would be much stronger and would be getting closer to the Sengoku period, which is often regarded as the golden era of Demon Slayers, which of course would make Kagaya happy. After he notices the potential both Zenitsu and Inosuke possess, he decides to make them both the Thunder and Beast Hashiras respectively. Moving on to the Swordsman Village arc, Tanjiro's mastery of sun breathing alongside with Inosuke and Zenitsu would help bring Hantengu down even before Mitsuri arrives. This means that Mitsuri wouldn't activate her Demon Slayer mark like she did in the original story. The rest of the arc plays out pretty much the same, with Muichiro defeating the Upper Moon 5 demon, Gyoko. Since Muzan has already lost 4 of his strongest demons, he is left